Welcome in. It's SVPod. Stanford Steve has so many notes. He's perusing through them. Red is in the building.
Yeah.
Very excited to be here for the podcast. For those that are watching somewhere, we went to the Wayback Relic bin. Print the shirts, those that are the real ones that know.
That thing's a decade old.
I got plenty of old-ass T-shirts. This one featuring Russillo in a deep V. Hashtag print the shirts.
Yeah.
Goes back to the Dubs pre-first title days, I believe.
Yeah, that's the first playoff run.
Well,
did you find it did you go looking for it last night or this morning?
No, I just opened up the drawer and thought, what T-shirt should we wear today? And I saw Russillo looking at me, and I said, let's honor the Dubs who ran through Houston again on Sunday evening.
Yeah.
And went back to it.
We're going to go right in, basketball versus hockey, game sevens. I mean...
Well, if we're going to start with that...
Because it's not much of a conversation.
No, hockey by
my Lord.
Greater than sign is... The first round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs is just the yearly reminder of what that is. And it can continue, but you lose something when you lose the 4 games a night. And you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Just because you obviously have more opportunities for things to happen like we had. But holy crap. Back-to-back game sevens where 2-goal third-period leads were not enough. I saw this stat. Now, this is one of those things. Shout out to the late, great Stuart Scott, who would often drop a nugget. I saw that somewhere. Stuart would, where? I don't know. But he didn't just make it up, but if I saw this on Twitter, and I realized as I'm doing this could be entirely made up, but the gist of it was, in 106 years of Stanley Cup playoffs, 3 times in 106 years, had a 2-goal lead in a game 7 gone away and the other team won. And it happened twice in 2 nights. Now, shout out to the late, great Stuart. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a hell of a stat.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas erased a 2-goal lead on home ice Saturday against Colorado. I'll just say it. I just thought the Avs were better the whole series and thought they'd win. They weren't, and they didn't. All credit to the Stars. Down significant players. Much of the series, they didn't lead games, but somehow they won games, and they did it again. That was the Rantanen game, and I don't follow it closely enough to know it. I mean, I know that he played for Colorado, obviously, couldn't agree to an extension. They traded him to Carolina in January, then couldn't agree to it there. They traded him to Dallas with the understanding that he'll finally sort out the extension there. Mm-hmm. Then the dude has a hat trick in the third period against his former team in a game 7. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I go back to thinking about the teams. Game 7s in hockey, I think they are different. Not because of road team, home team. You know, like you saw, both road teams had the 2-goal leads. That's what's crazy to me. But when you think about the venue, you think about the games prior, how's the goalie play going? Which way did the series swing momentum-wise?
Otter.
But just when you absolutely have to have it, men on skates, just out of control. And I just want to think about the guys that they're done. They're done, and so many times it's because of a deflection, and maybe not the game winner, but like last night, you texted me right away. Look at that goal for
the
peg to get it to 3-2. It's just a simple shot, bad deflection, hits the ground, goes over Benner,
and it's on. All hands on deck.
1:55 left. You know what you're getting, and they take it to 1 second.
And that goal, I went back and watched it like over and over and over again because it's the desperation that cannot be manufactured. You cannot fake desperation. That is true. White out in Winnipeg. Seconds are dwindling down. You hear them like with about 4 seconds left. You hear everyone scream, shoot.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh. And then it cycles around and it's like a one-timer where he kind of misses it. He doesn't get clean, doesn't get it on the tape. And then it deflects for a deflection, 1.6.
But the intent was a beaver tail toe drag. Like he leaned back and tried to get everything he could
all of his
into
might.
that, and he missed it.
Yep.
And because of that, his teammate's still able to get a deflection. And I mean, pandemonium. I always think of Vince McMahon and Gorilla Monsoon announcing wrestling, but it was chaos. And then you're sitting there, you're looking up, it's 1.5 or 1.9, I think.
1.6 on the clock.
So now you got to go back to the room and come back out to that zoo. And you're St. Louis. And
that wasn't enough either. 20 more minutes of that. They hit a post, St. Louis did. They hit a post in the first overtime. And then I'm sitting there by myself. And it's just odd how you sense it. It just felt like St. Louis was on its heels, and it felt like it's coming. And I said, this is bad. And to the point, and then I don't know if that got deflected in or not. Buccigross was saying for the Buccigross challenge, he wasn't positive. And it was their captain. What was the guy's name? Taylor that scored the goal that they gave the
Lowry, I thought.
I beg your pardon. Lowry, thank you. Lowry was the one that was given the goal, and Buccigross, like it didn't touch him, but then maybe it grazed his leg. Buccigross said it was going to go Zapruder film so they could properly identify hashtag Buccigross overtime challenge. Regardless of who, it matters not if you're either the Peg or St. Louis. The Jets, the President's Trophy winners, were a second away from being done, and instead they move on. And this is where, for the 1,000th time, we reiterate not having played it, not understanding a lot. Like with football and basketball, I could draw up plays. I understand things. Hockey, like when Bednar calls a timeout, I'm like, what are you drawing up? Like, what is it you're trying to do? Hey, you get it, and then you over here, and then you shoot it. I mean, obviously, I know that there's strategy. I'm not suggesting there's not. But so much of it is just a deflection, great hands, stand in the fight. I can't believe St. Louis lost that game. And I can't believe Colorado lost that game either. But obviously St. Louis more than Colorado.
But even when you get farther into breaking it down, Scott, like I'm listening to Edzo, who did an unbelievable job on the Kentucky Derby. We'll get to that. But he's talking about, he's like, if St. Louis could control this puck, Winnipeg's got a bunch of guys that have been out there for a while. I have no idea who goes and how they go and when they go onto the ice. And you talk, it goes an extra. They put another 20 up on the clock. And then I just kept thinking back, you're 2 minutes away, 2 goals up, and you can't close the door in Winnipeg's in that Manitoba.
I looked it up on a map last night, Steve. I'm not going to lie.
I knew you did, so that's what I wanted.
I did.
Were you close when here's the assessment. Scott and I thinking about hockey teams, where they are on the map. Sidetrack a little bit. Winnipeg, we both had pegged as sort of in the middle.
In
Midwest,
the middle.
like the Kansas City of
Somewhere
Canada,
in there.
right?
Yeah.
Were we close?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And the part that I didn't know, and I mean, there's no reason to be fraudulent about this. My Canadian geography is, Winnipeg was a blind spot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan, Edmonton, Calgary. Shout out to Coach Melrose. That's out there to the left. Vancouver, I'm good on. Toronto, Montreal, pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm. Ottawa.
Far Eastern stuff. Shout out to the camping stories from the past. Rain in Nova Scotia, things of that nature. Ontario, I'm good. But the Peg is in Manitoba. And it's right there, just sort of above Minnesota. Right there in the Minnesota lower Low, down low, not up, way out, up high in Canada.
My God.
What do you got? Steve's looking at a map.
Yellowknife.
Yellowknife?
That might be it.
Is that where you fished?
That might be. No, it can't be. Can't be.
There's no
That's
way you.
way too far.
That's right.
Oh, no, that Yellowknife's where Chris Long wants to buy real estate.
Oh, okay. It's not where you and
You
your
could
dad
see Alaska, he says.
and the guys from Ansonia went fishing.
No.
Up, you could see
No,
Santa and the elves from up there.
I think it was high Ontario.
I was in the ballpark with where Winnipeg was. But then I feel kind of, I don't know, do I feel badly? Not really, but I wonder if folks in up there, could they pick out Chicago on a map? Do they know where?
Yeah, because it's close.
Yeah, but okay.
They got no clue about the SEC. No clue. No clue.
They don't know, Paul.
Gainesville, no chance.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah, but we're talking hockey. There's 30.
Yeah.
There's 32. I'm not asking you to know all the hell. I don't know who's in the conferences anymore. I'm not asking you to know SEC conference makeup. I'm just saying if you say to them, "Where's Carolina on a map? Hurricanes, Caps. Can you pick it out?" I feel like I should know this. I feel like just as an adult that's in sports, I should have some vague idea on a map where the peg is.
Do they have a nation's capital? Canada?
That's a great point. What's the capital of Canada?
I don't know.
I'm pausing right now just because I'm feeling like I should know. Ottawa? Nation's capital? Google search?
Huh.
Is that true? God, this is embarrassing.
Really embarrassing.
Our knowledge of Canadian province, city, location, and what's the capital of the whole makeup. I'm sorry, Biz. Sorry to all people. Sorry to the ghost of Podubny.
Weeksy.
Against. I don't know the answers to these questions.
No.
My Canadian geography.
How many do they have left? They have Winnipeg and Edmonton, right?
That's
it.
That feels right.
Because that's what's crazy.
Montreal's
going
not.
back
No,
to
Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't say Toronto, right? You got what do you got? Three
Three.
of 8?
2 in the West.
There we go. You got a chance, Canada.
Jets, Stars, both coming off 7 gamers at home.
Or what? Did we just not have like a section of Canadian history and geography in school?
Nothing.
Also, we're old. I'm old. I don't even know if did we mess with it. I think we were trying to.
French-Canadian War. Remember reading about that?
That was a big one.
Yeah.
I just remember that we were going to do the metric system. That was the big scam when I was little. See, it's all 10 centimeters. It's all going to be liters and meters. 2025, we're still doing stuff with inches and
yards,
gallons and yards. None of it makes any fucking sense. There's no uniformity. Maybe that's why I don't know anything, because I'm just so confused about units of measure and distance and things of that nature. Or I'm just dumb.
Loonies and toonies.
Loonies and toonies. Boy, that sent me for a loop as we covered. Hell, I didn't know what that was about. I was just trying to leave tips on the bar, and I was trying to give what I had. It just didn't seem like I had much. As it turned out, I had plenty.
Ottawa, nation's capital. We learned something.
All right. Go get them, Canada. I couldn't get over. I still can't. Sitting here now, I don't know how St. Louis lost that game.
Yeah, that one, I know it's whatever it is, everyone says, recency bias and everything, but Colorado and St. Louis on the road, up 2. And you're just, I can't imagine how long that clock's taking to go down to 0. And because you know what's coming. You're getting a full-on swarm. And the home team's got it. And I give and I was like, that puck goes out, then the cross ice pass. And like I said, just everything he had in that shot, and he misses it, but they get the deflection because of that. And because if he hits that full speed, there's no way somebody could get a hand on it. It's gonna go right to the goalie.
I can't remember which guy it was in St. Louis, but you saw there's a guy and they miss open nets by fractions 3 or 4 times. But you see Montgomery they do a cutaway of him on the bench. And it looks like he's like, what was that? Like where maybe you could have, instead of just getting rid of the puck, you
dance with it for a little bit.
You could have used a little bit of time. But before you get rid of it, but the clock's running the whole time that how much more time are you using if you're sort of skating around with it? And I always think, don't mess around with it. There's 6 absolute lunatics that are trying to get it from you. Just dump it. Again, this is where I'm not knowing hockey.
No.
But the reaction from the St. Louis coach made it seem like
little stink eye.
There was one time that they got rid of the puck that seemed like maybe they should have tried to tinker around with it. Whatever, man. You don't expect 1.6 to tie the game. And this is happening as you're either going split screen or you're flipping back and forth with Golden State because there's Game 7 going there as well. We had back-to-back nights of Game 7s. We'll get to Denver and the Clippers. The Clippers did us a solid of just making that game not anything we needed to worry about being on a screen.
Yeah, I just have a question. Like, we work in the business. We have producers, associate producers, PAs, directors. I think director makes the call. But we make a big deal of Edmonton. What do they call it? Electric Avenue? Is that right?
Yeah.
Right? Electric Avenue. The Pegs got the place outside. Toronto's got their place outside. Please show those places when the team loses, especially in overtime. Like, I guarantee St. Louis and Colorado had some kind of watch party. But I need to see those places when they lose. And also show me, I know we're coming on most after these games, especially Game 7, but I got to see the handshakes. I thought Emily Kaplan did an unbelievable job in asking. That's the one question I wanted to know from Rantanen. How was it going through the handshakes? And you could tell he just did it. Those are his teammates. I think he spent a decade there.
Yeah, is that right? These are like his closest friends in the world.
Yeah.
But and you got to be sorry you're on the wrong side of it now.
Yeah, and I just threw 3 goals in your face.
In the last 10 minutes.
But yeah, the handshakes and those places when they're losing, I think would be incredible television.
I think it's cool to see the moments where the guys stop and you get
Coach K.
You get the Coach K with the chest pat, and then you get the arm slap.
I always want to see the 2 goalies.
Agreed. Especially like Hellebuck looked in the beginning of that like the wheels are off the wagon.
And the whole conversation going into the game was, what do you do with him?
Right?
Right? What was this? You had the stat. He was the only guy not to be pulled in a game, right?
Well, that's from our guy Jazz that we used to work with. That's working with TNT now these days.
Yeah, big
right?
lax guy. Yeah.
Correct. And Jazz had the tweet that during the regular season, there was only one goalie who had not been pulled in a game, and it was Hellebuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1, 2, 3 different games in the series in 6.
On the road?
Pulled 3 times in a series, and then gives up 2 goals in the opening stanza. No, I mean, we're not even 10 minutes in, and it's 2-0 Blues.
At home.
And you're thinking, they got to get him out of there.
Nope. Hockey guys. And Binner beat Hellebuck in the, what was that, Nations Tour? Whatever they call it. Rhythm Nation?
It was the Rhythm Nation games from
go.
February. I think a lot of people enjoyed the 4 nations.
All right, been listening to some Janet Jackson lately.
Have you?
Yeah. She doesn't get enough credit.
I think she gets a lot of credit. People that you think Janet Jackson doesn't?
Nope, not enough.
Absolute bangers after bangers. Rhythm Nation? Come on.
The hat.
Dropping bomb after bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It was not, however, the name of the hockey tournament. It was not Rhythm Nation.
World of Nations.
4 nations.
4 nations.
Just call it Rhythm
Who
Nation.
Who are the
Steve.
other 2?
Djibouti and
France?
France. Yeah. Sweden.
We feel bad for France.
Sweden, Canada, and
Finland?
Yeah, sure.
Finns.
The Finns.
Oh, Russia, huh?
Not part of the group. The handshake line, though,
see it.
When guys have gone at it, when Handsome Tom and the Caps knocked off Montreal, which was 3.5 weeks ago, and then the Hurricanes and Caps are just like, could anyone tell us when we're playing?
Yeah.
No, you guys, we'll figure it out. Literally, the series has been over for weeks, and they're just waiting for and they start later than anyone else. It's fine. But when Tom Wilson and what's the guy's name? Josh Anderson, right? Anderson, 17. Those dudes fought in a penalty box. No, excuse me, they fought on the Caps bench.
Yeah.
It's contentious. But then when it's done, that's the part about that sport that's just astounding to me.
I got to see it.
Guys stop. And at the end of it, it's like, hey, man, try to break your skull in for 5 games. But good on you. You signed up, you battled your ass off. And there's a hand.
There's no fist pumps. There's
there's none of that.
There's knuckles. It's hands.
And pats and shoulders and shoulder taps. And you see, like, the captains, it's kind of on them to do more. The goalies, the tendies, there's always a little extra love there, especially between what Hellebuck and Bennington, and then the Rhythm Nation thing that they went through. Every spring you hear the two of us just over the top love of what it is. And this, by the way, it's one round.
Yeah,
this was the first round of the playoffs. It's incredible. Trying to see what else I had on here from.
We going to game 1?
Let's do it.
All right. Rock the red. I'm in.
I'm wearing a sweater.
Jersey?
Pap sent me one of those cherry blossom joints. They sent me one that has my name on the back. Wearing a jersey.
There we go. Yeah.
Wearing a Caps jersey that says Van Pelt on the back. That's just absolute doucher behavior. Hey, who's the doucher over there? Oh, that's Van. Look at him. Look at him wearing his own jersey. I don't know why a guy has a Canadian accent in the Capitals joint, but I'm imagining it would be frowned upon on like Sports Center with an E, or what's the Canadian broadcasting? It's SB. What is that? What's that stand for?
Oh, I thought it was TSN.
TSN. He's wearing his sweater.
You're really wearing it.
He's wearing a sweater with his own name on it. What a loser!
Hey.
What a loser!
A
toque. I don't think they would drop an A. They're playing Carolina. There's really no reason it would be on Canadian Broadcasting Company.
And then
I think I am. I think I'm wearing it.
And
aren't I supposed to?
Yeah. You won't. And then game 3 in Carolina, we're going to be at the PGA.
How far away is it?
Is there a Caps bar in Charlotte?
I don't know. Let's just get a chopper.
That's your class, buddy. I don't have the connections for a chopper to go from Charlotte to Raleigh.
I wouldn't do it.
Would you?
No.
I would. They say that barn is incredible.
No, I don't want to. Well, I don't want to fly on choppers.
Okay.
You ever been on a helicopter?
I have.
I went on. I think I've told the story. A golfer, Nick Price, when we were in a tour event down in Dallas, and there was some like Bell helicopter or something. They took us up on one. This guy was some absolute lunatic fighter pilot guy that took me up. Like, we went up and then we stalled and went down and like, and then we got off and they were like, ha ha ha. It's like, I will fight all of you. I thought I was dead many times.
I went up in the blimp. That wasn't fun.
See, that would be.
It was kind of like parasailing, except I had my pants on.
Did it have your ass out on the blimp?
No. The blimp was very loud. Loud.
Hey, there's that guy, Stanford Steve. Why has he got his ass out on the blimp? That's what he does. He likes to just moon over Miami. He gets a kick out of that. But see, that would feel like slow motion death. Like the blimp would just be like,
exactly.
Oh, we're going to die. Oh, shit, it's going to take a long time. This is going to suck. Whereas in the chopper, everything was at warp speed. God, it was terrifying.
Out on the chopper.
No,
All right, so we're not going.
So we'll find a bar. We'll find a Caps bar.
Charles.
That's fine. We'll lock it down.
We got Ryan McGee on that one.
All right.
Big hockey guy. He was just at F.
Charlotte, we'll be in
we're
your
coming. Boy, we got some golf to talk about.
Vicinity next week. PGA. Are we gonna
do the pod? Do people want Gordo back? Because he was
having one bad double hammer episode should not knock Gordo off the rotation.
Right. I was just saying, like, I've seen the Ice Bucket Challenge coming back around, and Gordo is ice cold.
Yeah. Well, he had a first-round leader last week.
With who?
Scheffler. Hey, it was a 12-1 get back. There was more get back on the first round leader than there was for winning.
But did it have the hammers next to it?
It did not.
Okay.
All right, so we're going.
Game 1.
Rock the
Tuesday night.
Pre-game. Figure that out too. So we're down to 8 in both Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA. Is it time to talk NBA, or is there more hockey to get to?
No.
I still can't believe the Avs lost. I just want to say that one last time. I just wanted to watch McKinnon keep playing. Can't. He's.
More names too on Colorado. That's the other
I do.
thing. Yeah,
I do. I'm
Clark, Skager.
That's Landy. Bednar, I'm just obsessed with his hair. And he looks like he's either in charge of like a conglomerate in like a Wick movie where they found a cache of plutonium, and he's going to trade that for something.
A lot of briefcases.
And it's dark, and we're in a club, and it's raining.
And
Bednar walks in. He's like, you got this.
You got to give a name at the door.
Right.
Skager.
Codename Skager. He's like, you got this. You got the stuff. Keanu's bleeding. He's like, yeah, I got it. The handsome man, Bednar. They got to get out of the first round though. They were supposed to win that series. They did not. All right, NBA's down to 8 as well.
Yeah.
The Harden stuff at this point, I don't know what there is to say. I mean, you can give the Game 7 stats. If there are still Harden stands out there, I don't know what you stand on. I guess the fact that he's been a great player in his career, which he has been. There's just no overcoming what happens in these Game 7s. And it's another page and another page and another page, and now another page that includes shooting it just 8 times. I was texting with Russillo. He was going through the tape. I'm sure that whether it was with Simmons or his own, he'll go through the specifics of what he finds there. I don't want to take. I mean, we didn't get into the details of it. I just know he was looking at it just to talk about when Harden even kind of crossed midcourt and was on the other. Was on the other side. It was on the inside
of the 3-point line. That's what I find mind-boggling.
I just don't understand how you can play the game at as high a level as he does. And make no mistake, haven't loved all the foul hunting. I don't love watching him hook arms and try to get to the line. I don't love watching him fall down on every shot attempt. It's beneath him, in my opinion, because he's not good. He's been a great NBA player. And any argument to the contrary, I think he's just being a hater. You don't have to love the way he plays, but if you dismiss the greatness of the guy, then I think you're just being a hater. However, if you're a fan and you try to dismiss what the guy becomes when it matters most, then I don't know what you are, but you're being just willfully ignorant of the most important thing a player has got to be. A player has to matter when it matters most, and he hasn't largely. And there's that baffling series with Philly where he was incredible in the games where he single-handedly won games, scored 40-some-odd points. You're like, my God, look at this guy. Then it comes to a Game 7, missing in action, single-digit points. And it's the lack of want to. He had a ton of assists, but you shoot 8 times, score single-digit points, and your team's down 30 again, and then you don't talk to the media. Once, twice, all 3 losses in a row, the last 3 times you lose, not going to be able to do. Leave and don't talk. You get what you get. It's small. It's weak. That's beneath him too. You got to be there to say what happened at some point. But no, and this is what it is. This is what he's been, who he's been as a player. And so Kawhi's incredible. The one game Kawhi played great in the series, you're like, that's still one of the best players in the world. Yeah. Man, if he's healthy, he was healthy. First round, they're out. So this is just sort of what this is what you got.
Yeah. You touched on the negative with Harden. There's also very good stuff in a day and age of load management. Who's playing what night? That guy laces him up and plays. I go back to Arizona State. No people there. They love the guy. Comes back, does a bunch of stuff for them. Teammates that have played with him, you hear him talk. They love him. And then there's the accountability factor. And you touched on all the Game 7 stuff and the deciding games. What we want to see it. We watch it all regular season, and then it just changes. And then to not, take the heat after. I think about LeBron. It's always taking the podium. We could talk about the injury and how that didn't come up in the postgame, whatever. But with Harden, it's just, he's up there, Scott. Like you looking at, points scored, average, and
the Game 7s, he shot under 30% more often than he shot over 30%.
Yeah. But I also have a thing with this team that he plays for.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned how he's not going to be able to do it. Are they ever going to win a title in our lifetime? They got a brand new building. Their owner's crazy.
He brought like 100 and some odd folks from the Wall to Denver, flew them out there.
Did he fly him home?
I don't assume he just said, you guys have to get home from Lodo. I assume he sorted out the transport. I don't know. Hey, he didn't have to do it at all, but he did. I don't know. Quote Prince, forever is a mighty long time, but they do seem. Simmons always talks about being cursed or whatever. I dismiss the notion of being cursed. I think they just live in a rough neighborhood, and I think that it's hard to win. But as constructed, I don't know. You had healthy Kawhi. That's what that guy. Red, please don't eat. Red, please don't eat.
Swatches, huh?
He'll chew on anything. Red, come here, boy.
All right, here you go. Would you rather put your name on to win a title in your lifetime?
Okay, here we go.
The Clippers or the Jets, New York.
Wow.
Because those two teams, that's all I think. I'm never going to see it. Never.
I think I'd say the Jets. Because I could just put on the tape of Joe Willie waving his finger.
1967.
I understand. I can see. I can imagine it happening because it has. It has not with the Clippers. And I had a chance to talk briefly at Augusta with Rory about the notion of just extending a bit of space and grace to players post game, and understanding what happened with Morikawa at Bay Hill when he was like, "Hey, I came out to talk and there was nobody there." And then I went and signed for a while, and then they said, "You got to come talk." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't owe you anything." And then the semantics of what is owed in the media between players and us, and I don't think no one's owed anything, but it's part of the business. I think some of it's collectively bargained. You're supposed to be available for some of this stuff. To give context, and to your point about LeBron, we were there on a Friday night, and season's over. And he came and gives you the State of the Union and kind of takes through, going to talk with the family, figure some stuff out, yada, yada. LeBron's different than anyone else. He's more face of the league than anyone else, and he gets the assignment. He doesn't blow off the media. I do think the point in golf is that, like, for instance, last year at Pinehurst, you miss a putt, DeChambeau gets up and down. Now you're sitting there in the scorer's tent. Now you're going to come out, and people are going to want to stick a mic in your face right now. There ought to be some space given to allow yourself to come to terms with it and then talk the way there is in basketball. And so that's the part where Harden, that for the good that I described on the floor, for the off the floor stuff, where you're right, he laces him up, he shows up, he's accountable. To just not talk 3 times in a row, the last 3 times you lose, it's just so small, and it frames how you're viewed. That's just kind of what happens. that you're not going to post into Game 7, and then you're not going to post to discuss it, and then you're just off, and it's the off season, and there's never any sort of accounting of what happened there. Why does this keep happening? Do you have a theory? Just interested. What explains it? I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever win, but they didn't this time.
Yeah. And then last night, you get Houston and Golden State. I don't know if it's rock fight, but it wasn't pretty. I thought the officiating was atrocious because they didn't blow the whistle. I thought post-game you hear the guys talking about Draymond taking the mic the night before the game saying he's got to be more accountable. His flagrant in
Game 5.
Game
6. Game 6. Yep.
Swung the game, and he was not going to lose his poise. And then I go back, the first 2 possessions, he mauls people. They don't call him. He's like, "We're good tonight. I'm all in." I mean, they weren't calling anything.
No, you're testing it out. Like, what are we going to be able to get away with tonight? And
then Buddy Hield.
Shout out to the Bahamas.
33?
3-3. He had more threes in the game 9 than Houston as a team.
Yeah, and I thought that was a story in the NBA yesterday. If we wanted to touch on,
we'll get to the Pacers. Separate conversation.
But in that league, 3-point shooting, what's the differential there? 15 points.
Well, he had 9 by himself, and he had 9 more than Houston as a team had, and they made several late that were just window.
They made 6
3-pointers. And it was and several of them were window dressed, and they had 4 with about a minute left.
Yeah,
and the outcome had been determined. It was wild to me how similar the scripts were games 1 and game 7. Game 1, you're on the road, you're going up against the 2 seed, you're Golden State, you go in there, and what do? They held them to 34 points in the first half. This is not a high-flying team. The modern NBA, people score a ton. Houston, Udoka's squads plays defense more than most. So they're not a team that's going to score $130 nightly. But you hold them to 34 game 1, and it's like, oh, this is what we're doing? Oh, this is a little different. This isn't just a Tuesday night in February in the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. Golden State gets your attention with that. 34 in the first half, game 1. 39 in the first half, game 7. Hold them under 90 in game 1 and game 7. And it's just an understanding, I feel like, from the group of what it's going to be required. And Houston, they do have a champion in Fred VanVleet. They do have a coach in Ime Udoka who coached in the finals with Boston. They had Steven Adams, who's got more than 70 playoff games in his career where he's been with a bunch of different teams, and he was huge in Game 6. So they've got some of that. But, like, Jalen Green's one of your stars. He had 38 points in Game 2, and that's it. That's the only game he was a difference maker in. Single digits last night. Like, we want to crush Harden for what he was in Game 7. Last night, Green, 7 points. You can't be that invisible in a game like this. But they looked tight. And I understand why they're tight. You're playing Golden State, a team that your history with them isn't yours. It's not your fault that they're 5-0 now. Like, Golden State walks into that place and walks into that city, and they're absolutely no backup or fear. None.
And the home crowd knows that better.
100%. Because you lived it with it when it was Harden.
Yeah.
You lived it when it was that incarnation. And when it was Morey, and you guys figured out everything we got to do to beat this team. And then like Durant gets hurt and it didn't matter. We were on that night when Steph had like 23 in the fourth quarter. See you later. And I don't know. I've always loved the guy. Like, there's NBA folks that for whatever reason, it's just they don't dig the dude. I don't get it. But you want to kill that guy, you better kill him 5 times.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
And so they win, and now they got to play Minnesota, and I don't know who's favored. I haven't
Minnesota.
What is it, like 150?
Yeah, a little more. I think
it
it got it up to 160.
Is it really?
They get home court, though. They're to 6, and Golden State's to 7. That's the other thing that's crazy.
Right.
I can't wait. Can't wait for that series. Just because of the same thing, Ant trying to take down another legend. but I give Golden State a lot of credit. This is a different team, and, Clay goes away. Obviously, Durant chose to leave, and it's Steph and Draymond there, and there's obviously a culture with Kerr, and they figured it out with some young bucks coming in. Podziemski was awesome. Buddy Hield, we touched
Buddy
on.
Hield, they're 33. I mean that's
we've watched him his whole career going back to Oklahoma. When he gets it on that wing and it's open, that thing is going in,
and it's going up quick.
It's a
I love
push
his
shot.
I love his release. I love it. It's so simple, and he repeats it.
Yeah. So here we go.
I give Draymond credit when we were on following their game Friday evening, and he's looking at the box score, and he's shaking his head, and he's like, this is fixable because it's 50-50 balls, and he's like, the guy that wants to get the ball is going to get the ball, and right now it seems like they want to get the ball more than we do. And this is a really talented player who understands who and what he is. And for him to, you mentioned it earlier, to be accountable to the group and be like, I can't. And there's a difference between playing with aggression and playing forcefully and being an asshole. And there's times when I see him doing things where I think it's the latter. There's a difference between flopping over where you're like hitting a guy with your shoe on the ground and getting involved and pushing guys. And he knows that his line is different than anyone else when it comes to the ability to absolutely bark in the face of referees. He's a basketball savant and knows how to push the envelope, but also understands in a Game 7 on the road, I can't do that the way I did in Game 7. And that's where the brilliance and the savant and understanding the value you bring to your team cannot be compromised by chippiness. And once, to the point you make early, when it's like, all right, we're going to play like this tonight, and that's acceptable. All right, now I know what I can bring tonight. And he also has a couple of those. His ability to make threes, like, I'm letting you shoot it, but when he's all alone and it's like a Shaq free throw moment where it's like, if I got to make them, I'll make them. He'll make a big three in a big spot, and did early in that game. His value to that team's understood, and you heard everyone in that team echo him understanding that value before that game. Hield at 33, Steph some big shots late, Butler. Those are the points that matter more, but Draymond understanding that he's got to be present. They can't win without him.
Draymond Green is the ultimate, in my lifetime, most player you want on your team, and you fucking hate him when he's not.
Tom Wilson's pretty close.
No way. Draymond's right, because Draymond goes at every angle. The button's always on. Press conference. You hear him talk about Popovich the other night. He's incredible talking. He
got choked up. He was moved to tears talking about Pop.
So much good that he brings to the table. Kerr talks about he's the best defensive player he's ever seen. Kerr's older than I am. I'll take Kerr's word for that. But when you're against him, why is it take until Game 7 where you finally admit you screwed up? Why is he going to do the same speech before Game 1 against Minnesota?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No.
But he is the ultimate guy you want on your team, that you need on your team, that you want on your team, but you hate when he's not on your team. I've never seen anything like it. The button is always on, whether it's getting in the officials, getting in the opposing players, getting in the opposing coaches. There's no timidness. There's a fearlessness to him that I absolutely love. I mean, Izzo's one of our favorite guys.
Yep. And
you hear him talk about that. What he brings to the table when he does analyst work on TNT. He's smart talking about other players. And, what doesn't get talked, because there's a Houston side I just wanted to touch on, is I think Amen Thompson's the guy.
Oh, yes. He's so good.
Like, give me him. They want to get Giannis. Everybody's on the table. You can't touch him. You can't touch him. And Şengün is a guy that I've fallen in love with. I love his game. He's fearless. But his size, there's so many shots at the rim because he's not an ultimate 7-footer. He has 7-footer game, spin move, handle, the whole thing. And what it came down to in this series, and we made a big deal when Houston went there and won, and how good he was. Draymond was in foul trouble. That was the night of the flagrant and the tech. How that's not an ejection, I still don't know in the NBA. But Draymond defending him is what it came down to, and he could not get close enough to the rim. He couldn't finish at the rim, and that's what it comes down to. That to me, that series was all about Draymond and how special he is. There's a lot there. There's a lot. But you saw it full display last night, back against the wall, Game 7, on the road, need to get a win. You have to play your best because the other player is going to get the ball a lot that you're guarding. It was there, and like I said, like think about moving forward. Like Golden State goes a lot of time without scoring, and Buddy filled a ton of it last night. They're going to go into sequences where that length of Minnesota. I'm not doubting the Warriors, but at first inkling, I'm thinking about this series. I'm like, how are they going to do it?
And that's fair because this Houston team, as constructed, had not been through it. This is their first real significant opportunity as a 2 seed. Minnesota was in the Western Conference Finals last year, and they went through some heavyweights and just went through a couple more to get to this series, and they did it in 5. So Minnesota's not blinking, looking at you. They don't care at all. At all. So they've got a ton of length, which Minnesota's favored for a reason. I just think the Golden State will bring plenty to the table. I think the thing you said about Houston with Amen Thompson is everyone's going to want to get a swing at that Giannis piece. But if I'm Milwaukee, I'm like, if you're telling me he's off the table, then you can hang up the phone because I'm coming for that dude.
Yeah, they're going to need players. There's plenty of good players.
I understand. I want that player. Thompson's the guy moving forward. He's like, was he 21 years old? 22 years old?
Yeah, they're both older, I think, because they did that
G League or Ignite or one of them.
Yeah.
Well, whatever he is, he's just a two-way nightmare because of the length and his aptitude and attitude about both ends of the floor. Love watching that guy play. We're huge Fred VanVleet fans on our program. Obviously, he came on with us after the Game 6. He's an excellent player. I think you want him there as well. But I just wonder what Houston does. That's the big question. The Green piece, you can't have 38 in one game and be largely inconsequential in the others.
Say it all the time, and they're the face of it now because they are the most recent team to lose. But you take a look at your feelings and rankings and whatever you want to do at the end of a season, and then you do it again after the postseason. It's incredible.
It changes.
These guys, I mean, we touched on Harden. I mean, we hate the word legacy, but as you're watching these guys, you form a different opinion because you get to see them with it on the line.
And we have the exact same amount of rest. No one's on 5 games in 7 days on the last of a back-to-back, just want to get home. That you can tell regular season NBA and postseason, it's the same. You could say the same Stanley Cup playoffs. They bear very little resemblance. They're not close to being the same things. And so Golden State moves on. Houston is done. I think they'll look different next year. Just don't know what pieces they're going to try to move and what they're going to try to get. I do wonder this. You're the uniform guy more than me.
Oh, God.
Game 7, I'm older than you, but you're older than probably a lot of our listeners. I don't know that we're the people that they're going for, but my question is when it's a Game 7, you trot out 2 bad uniforms that aren't your uniforms. Who are you appealing to? What is it you're trying to do? Could you pick one game to not try to sell shit? Who picked those uniforms? You know what you do when you go back and you look at like Neek against Bird, Game 7 in the Garden? You know what they're wearing? They're correct uniforms. The uniforms that you associate with those teams. I just don't understand why every single situation has to be viewed as some opportunity to sell shit. Why can't they wear the uniform? Why can't Golden State wear these, the Bay ones?
Never wear their blue roads. Never.
They're beautiful.
They're the best
They're spectacular uniforms. Go back to the old day. Purvis Short in the building. The Chief, Robert Parrish. Talking some Golden State squads. Al Attles.
Playing at the Cow Palace.
Rick Barry, underhand. Come on.
They want a title in the Cow Palace.
Eat Washington Bullets. Ran them.
Going around the bay, past the airport, headed to San Francisco. The Cow Palace.
Game 7. Hey, I know what let's do. Let's wear these uniforms. I just don't understand whose idea is it? They're like, who picked the uniforms for this game, and who are you appealing to? I know what we'll do. We're going to wear these. That's awesome. Bet we'd move a lot of merch. I don't know.
I'm at a tipping point with the uniforms because hockey also, could we go to the home whites? You got the Peg doing a whiteout, and they're coming out in blue jerseys. You're wearing the same color as the visiting
road team. The road team is dressed in the color of your whiteout.
Houston does a red out, and their uniforms are white. Like, what the fuck are we doing? It's not that hard. Wear the right uniform.
What he said. Figure it out. Figure it out. I mean, there's a lot of shit in life that's complicated.
That's not one.
Thank you. Should be really, really simple.
Wear the right uniforms. Drink a lot of water. You'll be healthy.
Hydrate. Wear proper uniforms. The rest is the rest. The rest is just minor details. Pacers made 19 threes, Steve.
Yeah.
19.
Will they continue that for the series?
Will they go 19 of 36 every game? No. Will they make 10 more threes every game than Cleveland? No. But
are they going to win the series?
I think Cleveland will win the series. If you're asking me right now, I believe they win the series because I think they're better. But I think that and you and I think the world of Rick Carlisle.
Yeah. Oh.
And the thing, you know what the thing about them is you watch them and it's like the you being the casual you, and it's like Neesmith and Nembhard, and you're like, that's the guy from, which one's the one from Vandy? Which one's the one from Gonzaga? I don't know. Oh, all right, that Toppin, Dayton. Oh, it's a shame they didn't get to play in the tournament. That was a good team. Halliburton's kind of a peculiar way that he does stuff. People, I think, largely look for reasons to minimize that team because they don't feel like in the era of super teams, they don't feel like they're that because those guys aren't household superstar names. Then you play against and you're like, fuck, this is a pain in the ass. This team's capable. They figured out, oh, you got those two rim protectors. We know what we're going to do. We're going to put you in pick and roll hell. And we're going to put Allen in a situation where he's out there in space, and then we're moving it around. They're not going to make 19 of 36 threes every game. But the thing about them going back to last year when they went on a playoff run is they play a whole lot of really good basketball. You know what they don't have? Games where they score 89 points and they look like crap and lose. You might beat them, but it's hard to when you do. That's what I remind myself when I think back to last year. And you know what happened this year? They started really poorly. And it took them out of the conversation where people were really paying a ton of attention to them. And everyone's like, and I'm admittedly part of it, it's just Boston and Cleveland. Just Boston and Cleveland. Or excuse me, Cleveland and Boston. That's what it was all year long. A hell of a statement from Indiana in game one. Do you think the Pacers win this series?
I don't. Unless Garland doesn't come back. That's also a monster factor.
I should have said that first. Thank you. It's an all-star.
Yeah. So Cleveland's totally different with him, obviously. But just to go back 1 second,
please.
How doesn't the Steph Curry travel get called on the baseline reverse layup?
I don't know. I think you're mostly allowed to run with the ball.
Transition, when I watch Halliburton, that's all I could think of. I'm like, did he travel there? Did he travel there? Did he travel there? He's incredible. He's as original of his approach to a game as I think we have in the league because of how long he is. He gets to the rim. He could shoot the three. He gets other guys involved. and he's a special dude, man. I never thought that he would be this watching him at Iowa State. Never. And he's the guy. I mean, I wasn't able to watch the beginning of the game. Got home because we had a fucking 6:40 soccer game on a Sunday at night. What the hell are we doing here? But I got the fourth quarter. I'm like, holy shit, Indiana hasn't missed. And if they're not going to miss, they're not going to lose. So it was the ultimate game one. Are you going to overreact or are you not going to overreact? And no Garland. I did see Mitchell the way I want him. When you're down and he says, give me the ball.
Attack mode.
Appreciate that. And, you know, Ty Jerome's going to play a lot more. We love Ty Jerome.
I loved him going back. His Virginia days, I always said he reminded me of my guy Gravis because he was tall and he was able – he wasn't going to be a blur and blow past guys, but because of his height, he had the ability to get shots from angles, a creative shot maker. He's been spectacular.
Yeah.
He averaged a ton against Orlando. But Darius Garland's Darius Garland.
Exactly. I was just saying Garland's an all-star, as you point out, and you're not a Virginia fan, but you are showing appreciation to Ty Jerome, which I appreciate. But, yeah, it's the ultimate, you know, are you going to overreact?
No.
But hell, I mean.
I'm just telling you right now.
I just like all of Indiana's guys, too. TJ McConnell, give me that guy.
Sure.
Bench guy? Are you kidding? What else do you want?
Right, because when you put him in, it's like a lot of times the energy changes in a positive way. It's not just a guy to hold the rope for 6 minutes just to get somebody a little bit of a rest on the bench. Can we just go back to the Sunday evening 6:40?
Jesus, are you serious?
I've never heard of such a thing. Was it a makeup?
No.
This was a scheduled game?
Scheduled game.
Sunday
6:40 Sunday evening. Are you kidding me?
Was it at least close to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a rec league scenario?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who to talk to about that one.
I mean, if we've learned one thing through the years, it's that the folks in our ecosystem are listening. Just figure it out. Folks have lives. It's a Sunday evening. Kids got school the next day. We got a delicate balance. We're trying to eat. We're trying to get baths.
2 Game 7s going.
Well, there's that. I'm talking about just take the games off the table, which for us is a little harder than other folks.
Yeah.
I'm talking about we got to get home. We got to eat. We got to get books read, teeth brushed, stories told, homework done. What are we doing? 6:40?
Yeah.
This ain't travel soccer. Play in the mornings. Now, that you could also say, hey, people got church. Understand that, too. There's hard to find the perfect place.
There's only 10 hours in between.
6:40 is a little late for a start. Not for nothing.
Lord. Came out with a vengeance, though. Queens of the field. Eight-year-old soccer.
Yeah.
They scored off a set piece. I couldn't believe it.
Well, you got to run the set piece. Was it some of the stuff we saw, the Inter and
close. A little handball, free kick out towards midfield. But 8-year-old soccer, we like coaches, when you play on turf, you have to tell them when the ball goes out of bounds, you got to go get it. Because that ball goes out of bounds a lot.
Yeah.
It's fast.
My youngest was a little upset. He was told that Mr. Steve was going to come watch the game. He missed Steve and a couple of his girls were very kind, came and watched the Jaguars game.
Varsity. I came for the varsity game.
Whoa. I'll have to explain to the youngster that you're on the JV squad. It is a half-hour game. It's more of a practice than a game. But he just was he's like, wait, he came for Sam's game? He did. Jags wanted a walk-off.
I mean, come on.
Pretty dramatic.
Unbelievable. Last play of the game.
Alex, huh? Big play there.
Yeah. I think you got to get in the defensive room.
I will say that the shout out to the folks from Flagstar who do a wonderful job. Great group. Every game is some version of the same game where it's a Hail Mary on the last play of the game. There is no defense in flag football.
The number one question, I think I asked you 7 times. Your wife's walking over. How much time's left? Do we have time for one more play?
And we did.
That's all you need.
Jags signed up for 60. They
48-45?
Last play of the game.
Half-hour game. It was awesome.
We got to get in the defensive room.
Yeah.
Is right. I don't think it's a scheme or an aptitude issue. I think it's just, there's a lot of misdirection. We're running a lot of mesh, and kids can't. A lot of zone integrity is lost.
That's the key, because I give my 5-year-old credit, who goes to watch her oldest sister play basketball, and I don't know where she got it. She just continually yells, "Guard your player, Lily." That's what you need in flag. Guard your player. Don't look at the quarterback. Don't look at him.
I can't.
Guard your player.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. We're gonna
the 5-second meeting.
We're gonna work on the fundies,
and you can
guard your player.
You can get some respect in the room.
We'll see how that goes. I think I lost the respect of the room with my youngster. And I just mentioned the chess scenario.
Yes, please. Did we? Yes,
we haven't. I don't know. We lost. He had one of his Jaguar teammates came over post game, so we didn't get a chance to do the tiebreaker. So my middle son has taken chess on, and it's like, "Dad, do you know how to play chess?" I'm like, "What kind of question is that?" "Yeah, I'll run the Boris Spassky stuff on your ass. Sit down. Let's put him out there." First question I asked was, "Wait, I don't remember where the bishop and the knight goes." It gets a little confusing. I had to get that sorted out. That should have been my first clue that maybe the chess acumen has left me. The first game we play, Steve. All right, pawn. All right, pawn. He moves out a bishop. All right. Here comes a queen. All right, whatever. I'm just going to move a little knight out just because little 3 down and 1 to the left. Ooh, maybe I go 1 to the right. You don't know what I'm doing over here. Huh? Here comes the queen. Takes a pawn. And he just looks at me with this smile. Everyone that is a parent, I should say. All parents know that look. When the kid looks at you with a combination of bemusement and joy, as if to say, "Oh, you don't know what just happened, do you, Dad?" Oh, it looks like check to me. And he says, "Mate."
Whoa.
And I said, and I looked down at the pieces and I'm like, "Oh, well, I'll just take your queen." "No, you can't take your queen with the king, dumbass, because the bishop will take you. Check and mate. 4 moves. And he said, "That's the scholar's mate." Apparently.
Scholar's mate.
There's a name for it.
Fucking Sam's like Norman Dale. Coach of Hoosiers. How many passes? 4.
Night. Laid the king down. That was it. And he's got a book. And in the book, it explains the scholar's mate. If you look up scholar's mate, you'll learn that if you're going to lose in 4, this is how it happens. And apparently it happens enough that it's got a name. But I said, "So wait, did I just need to do all the dumb things to allow you to do this?" And he's like, "Well, kind of." And so then I'm pissed off Dad. I'm like, "Let's run it back," which we did. And for those of you in this equation that are rooting for Dad, which shouldn't be any of you, Steve's rooting for me because you're the dad.
Yeah.
Well, we took him out. We took him out in the second game and let him understand there'll be none of this.
More than 4 moves?
Took a while. I don't care how long it took.
No.
Dad just needed
Win's a win.
I needed to regain the hill. I needed to get the high ground and be in charge of this particular battle, because 4 moves and your boy's giving you that look like, "You dumbass, I just beat you." Well, we got even, and so we've been threatening each other with a winner take all game. But as you discussed with me, if I lose game 3, then you just make it a best of 5, and if he gets
9,
a third, then we just make it a best
11.
of 7, and we'll just kick the can down the road. And I need to get in my mentals and assess.
Got to get on the board.
I don't have any strategy. I don't know strategy. I just know.
You don't?
No, I mean,
I figure you would have chess strategy. Like always something you would go to.
I don't know names of like things. I'm just bringing pieces out willy-nilly. You are a chess guy. I didn't know this.
I was a chess guy. I'm actually waiting for my kids to.
At what phase of your life were you a chess guy?
Oh,
high school, college?
Nerd. No, way before. Like nerd. Fourth grade? Like fourth grade to high school?
Did you go to tournaments?
No, I didn't go to tournament. No, I was in this deal where I learned to play. I was at a super young age, and I just found it fascinating. There's a mentality, and I told you, there is a serious intimidating factor in that game because, to your point, you jump on the board for the first time in what? How long? 10 years?
10?
20?
It's decades.
Exactly.
I used to play. My dad and I would play, and he taught me the game.
And when you get on that board, I can't get out of my head that the other person always has a 3rd and 17 play in their pocket. Always. And I'm deathly afraid because I don't see it like that. I'm like you. I'm going to play it till I want to play the next play. Whereas I'm never looking for the jackpot. And that always scared me about playing the game. And like I said, it's super intimidating. There's the lingo. There's the pieces. Whatever. The saying chess versus checkers, it's not even close.
Well,
not even close. And I'm pumped because I think that's an awesome thing to have with your kid because it's constantly meant, and you get in there, it's 20 years you're going against.
Yeah, man.
And you see him doing that, and then he pulls the Norman Dale on you, and you're like, what the hell? Where you been?
More moves. I'm like, we got a searching for Bobby Fischer story going on over here. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, those people. Oh.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. The people that do the speed chess and like in New York City, like
unbelievable.
When Wemby did that this year, he like basically put out an APB. Hey, who wants to meet me in the park in the rain to play some speed chess?
Love it.
I'm gonna bring Sam up. Sit down.
Now the other one,
sit down. Who, little guy?
Yeah, you're gonna get pieces chucked at your head.
Chess might not be part of his. Might not be part of his future. I don't know.
We'll see. Watching it would be theater.
We went down on the bubble hockey and played a little best of. He was big on that.
Oh, that's rough and tough for him.
That's good.
He's in on that.
It's good. Might have given up a couple of goals just to kind of take the sting off.
Yeah. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
You're the good guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, middle brother, 4 moves. Scholar's mate.
He also,
good God,
after the flag game yesterday, I went over to like give him a high five. He was like Michael Jordan after he won his first title, like laying on the ground with the trophy in his hand. He's like, we won. I'm like, my man. And then I had to ask him about the chess. I'm like, 4 moves? You beat your dad?
It happened.
4.
I gotta make a note to myself when we get home, like, because if the weather's good, the first when we get home,
you go out shooting buckets.
First thing Dad, can we get some shots up? Yes, we can. We had a great fundy session, by the way. We're working on being able to head fake
handle.
We're adding like head fake, then drive, head fake, dribble, step back,
triple threat position.
Correct. My little guy understands the head fake. My middle guy is head fake. I'm like, you can't look like you're having a seizure. It needs to look like there's a move that could be. And I showed him a couple. I showed him Miles Turner 3 in that game. I said, see this head fake? See what he does? I said, it's just that's it. It's a very subtle little. Give him that. Guy goes in the air. Now you get the shot up.
You need the ball with the head fake, though.
Correct.
That's rep. But also, it's a big game rep deal. You got to be able to do it in the game because you're playing against different people. You're playing against your brother every day.
Totally agree.
You know?
Totally agree.
That's one. Speaking of hoops.
Yeah?
We're watching WNBA preseason games at the crib.
I bet.
I don't know why, but Caitlin Clark played at Iowa City, did not play in Indiana the day before, but they played Brazil. The Sky played Brazil in Baton Rouge. Angel and Haley went back to Baton Rouge. Obviously, I think it's an awesome deal. I wish NBA teams, they used to do it a little bit where you could pick a game to go. I know Gino does it with his girls every year. He goes to a senior on the team. They'll go play a team from their hometown. But yeah, we're locked in. These buildings are insane. It's unbelievable to see.
I saw Caitlin talking to the coach from Brazil and just like, is this the biggest crowd you've ever played in front of? Like, yes, it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, they went from Baton Rouge to Iowa.
They got them planes.
I think they ate better in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They might have had some full tummies when they got to Iowa. I think they got beat by 80. But yeah, it's here. I'm dying to see it.
I assume that you're. I don't need to tell you this, but our listeners should know. Full Court Press, season 2, Omaha Productions, following Hannah Hidalgo, your girl Flage from LSU, Kiki Iriafen at USC, and I believe episodes 1 and 2 have aired.
They're out.
Episodes 3 and 4 on ESPN2, May 11th, 9 Eastern. So again,
they're on the whiteboard in the house.
I knew I didn't need to mention this to you, but for folks that have listened to the pod, and it's really cool. And Steve and 2 of his girls came yesterday to watch the flag. And your oldest, she's first of all, she's such an awesome kid. But my gosh, she's growing up. She's going to be so tall, and she loves the game. And Flage is her favorite.
Yep.
And I said, what?
We got Angel back, so it's haven't been able to watch.
Yeah, but
the LSU factor for sure.
How about the fact that there was a big portal pickup? I said, could you believe that? Could you believe that?
She's in. I think I have to go to Baton Rouge for a game this year.
I think. What do you mean you think? Like that's a given.
Yeah.
Full Court Press.
It's an incredible show. The access that these girls have given Omaha is awesome, and you learn a lot. And I think the girls learn a lot because what I'm at the phase, Scott, of you have the time. There's no lying about the time. Like you said, kids are going to come home from school. You're going out. You're getting shots up. The time you have to put in to get to these girls' level, and that's the best thing. Watching Caitlin Clark yesterday. What she's endured on her path, but not even giving a sense of how much time she puts in with her game. And Angel Reese, Flauche, when you're watching the piece, is the practice that it's hard to do in this day and age of social media and Instagram and who's got TikTok and this. It's about when the cameras aren't on and what you're doing with your time. And it's been a little bit of a battle. We like to get on our iPad, when we get home, but we got to turn the worm. Weather's nice. Let's go get some shots up. But it's awesome. It's awesome because you see their success. I'm watching Sam yesterday, like seeing how old is he? 9. To see his happiness of his teammates doing well. That's the deal.
Sure.
But you got to get in the mix.
Yeah.
Got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. I found it very funny that he's on the Jaguars.
Yep. And his younger brother's on the Commanders. And so that's going to be the internal struggle here in the house here.
Are they ever going to play against each other?
No.
Okay.
No, there's enough separation.
That's good.
Because they'd brawl.
You're not referee. You're not stepping in the middle of that one. Lila probably would. She would tell both of them how they're wrong.
Just roll her eyes and be like, what are we doing? Get it together.
We started the swim deals full go.
It is May.
Yeah. And long form meet.
Down in Manassas?
Manassas.
It's a longer drive to swim.
I want to make sure it's Occuan. Occoquan?
Occoquan.
There you go. I knew you would know it. Unbelievable setup. Got the touch pads in the pool, and we're home. We got soccer and hoops and everything.
6:40 games on Sunday. Let's figure that out.
That's her, the swimmer that did that last night, by the way. And she had a hoops game Saturday after her swim meet. But anyway, these people, this swim deal is unbelievable. We weren't able to go. Wifey took her to the meet. We were able to stream it, and I put it on the big screen. I got the two other ones watching their sister swim in a meet. I mean, the times. I mean, it was watching the Olympics. They touch the pad, in the water. Boom, name, time comes up, places. It was incredible to watch, and I was super fortunate. So whoever figured that out and made it possible for people that have multiple kids and not being able to be there, we were. I mean, watching your kid, and then of course their team met like near one of the cameras, but we're in the 50-meter pool. Like 8-year-olds in a 50-meter pool is
big one.
You talk about blimp shots from games in football, like they look like ants. And like literally it's so big they have like 3 different cameras. So you're watching and you're like, all right, they got to change the camera. When are we getting into the next camera shot? And you're going. But yeah.
But just think how insane that is.
It's nuts.
That you're describing your child swimming in a pool with like the touch pads and a camera feed, multiple cameras of the pool. I talked to a dad at the flag game yesterday about playing in Montgomery County back in the day. And I've told this story going back to the radio days, like you were the green team or the red team, and you'd show up and some dad had a cardboard box with green shirts or red shirts. It said Montgomery County Rec with a number. It was like a really poor cotton blend that was just, it was like 7 sizes too big, but then it would be a shrinky dink and the wash would be snug by game 2. That's what it used to be. You're playing on some shitty field at an elementary school, and you wore a uniform out of a box. Now we got travel everything and Olympic feeds of 8-year-old swimmers, which I'm not saying there's parts of it that aren't great, but the fact that you're able to sit with your daughters and watch your middle girl swim, that had to be a blast.
Yeah, it was awesome. And boy, do we have some talent in this area, though. Holy
on the swimming side?
How?
Yeah, they are. You think about the folks. We've mentioned our friend Tom Dolan down in Virginia, Olympic champ. Of course, Katie Ledecky's still at 28.
Broke her own record yesterday.
At 28. Imagine that.
10 years.
How do you, like, at what point will she be like, nah, I'm good? Not yet.
It's crazy. She's 8. First time doing a flip turn in a race because, you're doing 100 free.
She good on that?
I was super pumped. And she was too, because I saw she's doing the first one was backstroke, so you got to do that deal, and then you turn as if you're doing freestyle, and she got right back in it with her flip turn.
There we go.
And we were, like I said, super nervous, first time in a race doing it, and like
won her heat, didn't she?
We're over that hump, so now it's like, because I asked her, I was like, "Oh, you're coming home from fucking 6:40 soccer game last night," and I'm like, do you know where the other people are in the race? And she looked at me, she's like, not yet. I'm like, it's just, like we just talked about, repetition, doing things in game and in me. So
I thought you were going to say behind me, and I was going to jump. I was going to jump out of this chair.
But I tell you, man, and then yesterday, it was Saturday and Sunday, and then yesterday she got in first race, 50-meter butterfly. You want to talk about an all-out war. I mean, to get your arms going and then to be thinking about, this is 100, there's a 200 butterfly. Like, that arm action is insane, the way you got to keep your feet synced on your kick, because that's the first thing. She's deathly afraid of getting DQ'd because you don't want to be DQ'd, obviously.
I get it for the folks that are that are grading it, like the Let's give the kids a little wiggle room on the DQ. Let's let them learn. We're not in the time trials for the Olympics.
But in the 50-meter pool, doing a 50 butterfly, 8-year-old in the 3 camera angles, you're like, man, this is a marathon. But it was really, really cool. So we got some more meets. That's the MSRC. We'll have a couple more meets, but yeah, pool season's
right around the corner.
Week away, I think we open up at the old Country Glen.
All right. Go.
We lost a lot. We lost a lot of older. We'll see how we fare.
We had
some up-and-comers.
We had that conversation recently as well about you some folks that are they're carrying some heavy weight on your teams. When they move on, you're going to have to Hey, next wave steps up.
Yeah, because I don't think the college kids come back and swim, even though they're, 18 and under?
You can.
Yeah?
You can.
I don't know if it's cool anymore, though.
Should be.
While we're on the local kick, can I give a shout-out? To whoever's in charge of the potholes in D.C., I just want to congratulate you. It took 6 freaking years to fix the pothole on K and 21st as we're at the light. I watch you drive around it every night because it's right at the stoplight, right there, and it's a crater. And we both have SUVs. It's a big crater of a pothole. 6 freaking years we had to drive around that.
Not anymore.
They fixed it. It's amazing.
Shout out to the Public Works at K Street and 21st. Anybody that knows, and then you know you don't speed through that tunnel. Don't speed through that tunnel.
Okay. But can we one time in our life catch that green light?
No.
Never.
No.
6 years, every night.
One step at a time, Steve. We fixed the pothole. We fixed the pothole on
You know what I'm talking about.
Do I know? It's the one that I watch. If I'm behind you, I watch you drive around it. If you're behind me, you watch me drive around it. It was the kind that would destroy a suspension, if you had fancy rims, you definitely. If you hit that wrong, it's going to take the shine off your rims, or if you got the mat on there, it's going to scrape it off. Yeah, I couldn't believe it because I saw someone drive over it, and I. Looked like they drove right over it.
You didn't think their car was going to tip over.
Right. So then just the other day, I drove right over it. But then I had to slow down because we went in that speed camera under the tunnel.
Yeah. And it's at the end of the tunnel, folks. So you could go fast.
And slow down late.
But then there's also another freaking red light at the end of the tunnel.
And you hit that one. You hit that one too.
It's one of the two. That's all I'm asking for.
Think about when you're driving New York City late at night when you can get, you catch the green lights.
You could go for miles on Broadway.
That's what I'm saying.
Until 6 a.m, I think they change it.
I just feel like if anyone to DC Public Works is listening, if we could get that straight green light on K, we're leaving late. There's no one on the road. No one on the road.
Mm.
I have an important question that I have to get to.
Okay.
Well, I brought it up on Twitter. I believe this is something that through the years I have covered. But I just want to bring it up here for the people to discuss as they wish.
Food?
It's food related.
I'm in.
I believe I was watching Ernie and Chuck and Shaq and Kenny. I believe it was Inside, but it could have been Biz and the boys because it was back and forth on Sunday night with the various post games. But there was some breakfast joint commercial, and I'm looking at the commercials, and I'm seeing some flapjacks, and I'm seeing some waffles. And I thought it was important that I share with people because this is how Twitter works. I said, I really like waffles, and I really don't like pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, that's like throwing a firecracker into a movie theater. I mean, this is not going to. But I mean, you're doing it for the conversation, and naturally, people have their feelings. How do you feel about pancakes, Steve, versus waffles?
It's been years since I've had either. I am straight eggs for breakfast.
You don't like waffles?
Nah, I prefer waffles over pancakes.
This does bring up one of the all-time great tweets of all time that I would like to read from Cooley Bravo, who said, Twitter's the only place where well-articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and someone will say, so you hate waffles? No, bitch. That's a whole new sentence. What the fuck are you talking about? But this was a sentence where I was articulating that I do like waffles and I don't like pancakes. And what's odd about that, I suppose, is that it's the same batter. You just pour one on a griddle and then you pour another on a waffle maker. Mm-hmm. And this is not the Mitch Hedberg line or whatever about the little pockets for the syrup. I just like the crunchy of the waffle. You can go ahead and cook that son of a gun. Like well done waffles. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Whereas I find flapjacks, pancakes to be, and And this is where you could say you don't make them well. Perhaps that's it. I am anti-pancake. I don't enjoy them. I won't eat them. Make them for the kids. They love them. I like waffles.
Waffles are more versatile because, to your point, with the pockets, you can make them how you want them, is with how much syrup you put on.
Yeah,
and that's my point. I'm not a big maple syrup guy.
Mm-hmm.
And my other problem is when you go out to breakfast, waffles and pancakes. Sometimes, like, I want my food hot, and waffles and pancakes feel like they could have been sitting there a little bit, and they're not really hot. I want hot food, and
I just feel like there's
eggs is best.
I guess it's in the same way that you could take an egg, because it's the same ingredient for the waffle and the pancake, but in the same way, so are eggs. But if you take an egg, you scramble it up and toss it on hot pan and make scrambled eggs, versus if you make an over easy egg, which is disgusting and I won't eat it. How about that?
You don't like the yolk runny.
I don't want to see orange,
yellow,
liquid. Orange, yellow, depends how you view it. That's another question. Is it orange or is it yellow?
Yellow.
I say more orange. I don't want that. You
don't like your toast, dip it in the egg yolk?
It's repulsive.
Oh, it's the best thing in the world.
It's yolk.
It's an egg. Do you eat scrambled eggs?
I just said that.
Do you take the yolk out?
Of course not. You scramble it up. When you scramble it, this is the exact same thing as the waffle pancake conversation. Same ingredient, just prepared differently. So by taking the egg, scrambling it up, and putting it down there, throw a little cheese in there, whatever you like, now you have a proper egg that you can eat, as opposed to this disgusting, runny, orange goop all over your plate.
There's never enough toast to clean it up. Eggs Benedict? Poached eggs? No. What if they're solid?
I'll eat eggs two ways that I can think of right now.
That's it.
Scramble it. You can hard boil it. Pour some little salt on there. Get summertime.
Nothing better.
Get some summertime tomatoes. Cut them up. What about cottage cheese? Do you do that?
No.
Can't
even smell it.
That thinks my mom.
Hold on. I just want to go back because I saw your face when I mentioned the yolk breaking. Would you throw up when you watch Rocky crack the eggs and drink them?
Not really. I got it. I understood it was art. He did it for the art.
Have you ever done it?
No. For what reason would I do it?
Because Rocky did it.
Rocky also fought people. I didn't do that either.
I've heard some stories. A couple gas stations.
We're on the wrong end of that one. We're on the wrong end of that one.
Waffles or pancakes? Okay.
So I'm team waffle. I'm also team scrambled egg. I'm anti.
What do your kids prefer?
They like pancakes.
Yeah.
They like pancakes. But I think the kids, pancakes are just more kids. And I think a waffle seems like more work. Like you look at it and you're like, what's all this all about? What am I dealing with?
Yeah, waffles do.
But it's awesome also because it comes in 4 little junks and you can just make it into that. I'll pick it up. I'll make it a hand food. I make pretty much everything hand food.
Yeah.
But I'll just pick it up.
Because my point too about pancakes not being hot too is like, you obviously got to butter them. But I thought there's butter in the batter, whatever. You got to butter your pancakes when you get them.
Yep.
And sometimes you put the butter on, it's not even melting.
Right. Because
what are we doing?
Because it's room temperature.
Yeah.
Room temperature, spongy nonsense. Cook your waffles. Well done waffles, superior. Now this begs the question, and this is a different sentence. And people ask, what about French toast? Well, you're asking a different conversation. Again, for me, the French toast is a consistency deal where I'd like it to be done and not just soggy. And I don't want you to put all kinds of fruit and fancy shit all over it. Like, you don't need to try that hard. Cook it like well done. Throw some syrup on there. French toast is delicious. I have French toast superior to pancakes, but not superior to waffles. Power rankings, waffles number 1, French toast number 2, but don't put all kinds of fruit and whipped cream and nonsense on there. Powdered sugar, that's fine. 3 pancakes, and actually not 3 because I'm not eating the pancakes. I won't eat them.
Belgian waffles.
Fine. Sure.
Strawberry, blueberry.
I don't want a lot of stuff on that either. I just want the waffle, and I want it well done. And I'll eat it with some bacon, and then you add a little scrambled egg. Fantastic. but the sunny side up, is that poached or is that the same? What's the difference?
What? Poached is Eggs Benedict.
But sunny side up's the one where you hit it and then the orange or the yellow's everywhere.
And then over easy, you fold the white over the yolk.
And you love all of that.
All of them. Might go get some right now.
And how many eggs did your daughter have for
Oh,
breakfast?
my God. My
yesterday?
youngest daughter can eat. It's crazy.
You said she had 5
scrambled eggs. Easily. She'll eat 5. It's unbelievable. I'm like,
she's how old?
Down. She's 5.
She's I mean, the look in her eyes, and that smile, she's just a delight. You know what I say, Libby? Have 8 eggs if you like. Tell Daddy that Uncle Scott said you could have as many as you like.
Only on Sunday.
Just scramble them. All right.
And then as soon as you pour the scrambled eggs, it should be like, it's taking forever.
So she says.
Everything. Whenever something, she's waiting on something like, hey, I'm heating up your food, or I'm making the macaroni, or this. It's taking forever. Number one saying.
Well, you know what I say? Let's go. Chop, chop.
You got to cook. Like, we go out to eat. Daddy, it's taking forever. They have to cook your food.
That is fair.
That's a rule.
All right, Red. I think Red's telling me this podcast is taking forever.
One question.
Please.
Quick.
Yep.
Golf. On fire. Scotty. The PGA. This is the biggest PGA Championship ever with how hot these golfers are.
That's a little hyperbole. Bryson off a victory on the Live.
Unreal. I watched that.
There you go.
I was up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
So Bryson with a Live win.
Korea.
Rory, who has 4 wins at Quail Hollow off the Masters win. Scotty, who just had a putt to shoot 32 under, which would have been the lowest score in the history of the PGA Tour. Missed it. They get the gist. 31 under is pretty good.
Choked up after talking about.
Well, at first one as a dad.
His sister caddied for him.
If you're from Texas, the Byron Nelson, like I've talked about this, covering that event years ago, and when it was at Las Colinas, 4 Seasons, Mr. Nelson would sit out there in a chair on the first tee all day, and he would greet every single player.
He won 14 straight tournaments.
He did.
Who was he playing against?
Whoever turned up. Didn't make any damn difference. He was going to be low.
Unbelievable.
And couldn't be a kinder gentleman that you'd ever meet. Like the story goes, like literally, he would write a handwritten note and send it to anyone that won on tour. And I remember the story. I believe it was Brad Faxon shared on the Golf Channel years ago. He's like, he won an event, and he's like, I get some. There's this neat cursive. Like
neat cursive. Wow,
like, what's this?
Don't hear that anymore.
Who's this from? He's like, there's a statue of the guy in the. Oh, the statue is the guy. It's from Byron Nelson. And you're like, holy shit, Byron Nelson sent me a letter? Yeah, that's what he did.
2 quick things. I heard Colton Oast on the broadcast, and I thought it made all the sense in the world because that's where we're going to be a week from today. He said when he watches Scotty Scheffler before a tournament on the range, messing around on the putting green, chipping, he said he looks like he's getting ready to play in a golf tournament where every other guy looks like they're working on something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, we've walked by him pretty like you're the best at it. You're like, no, we're not talking to him. He's in it right now. I remember, God, I forget what that was. Rochester, like Scotty's in this bunker, dripping in sweat, and they're like, yeah, Scotty, good luck to the Mavs tonight. Like you were like, we're not. He's in it right now. But like
you got to know
before the tournament. He's just like, yeah, he's just hitting balls, getting ready to go play in a tournament. And I have this question.
Okay.
It's probably the worst question I've ever asked you.
Okay.
Is Scotty Scheffler more accurate than Tiger?
With his irons?
Yeah.
I imagine that there's data that can tell you that, and I imagine the data would say that he is. Just proximity to the hole?
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, his iron play.
I don't care. People are going to talk about how easy the course. I don't care. If it was that easy, everybody would do it, right?
Well, I mean, there were a lot of people that were way under par.
What did Van Rooyen shoot? 24?
Something like that.
Lost by 7.
Right. Well, I mean, Scotty shot 61, 63 and pretty much let you know, all right, well, no one's catching me this week. It was not a difficult golf course, but your point is well taken. He still shot 30 some odd under par. But it doesn't matter if it's a difficult or an easy. He's the guy that's proximity. And I'm sure there's stats that could back that up. That especially like during his like Player of the Year season.
They pan out from the green. It's like, yeah, if you could place the ball, you would want it there, right there.
Pretty good. Yeah, we'll be down a week from now. Charlotte,
need a Caps bar.
We'll be there
Monday night,
looking for a Caps bar. That'll be big. Or we'll just fire up a chopper. Actually, we covered that. We're not doing that. Have a good week. We'll be on following some Stanley Cup throughout the week.
You checking a bag?
I got it suits. So yes, I got to check a bag.
Yeah,
it's a
check a bag trip.
It's a check a bag trip because you got many different.
How many shoes?
You know what I realized for this week is that the shoe games and the shoes are never on display. So I mean,
the dress shoes.
I understand that, but
sneakers. We're gonna be. Got some miles to walk Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right, so we're going to make sure we have proper walking shoes. We're not going to bring the fancy boy Tom Fords to stroll through the fairways of Quail Hollow. We're not in an A6 situation here. We'll make sure we have proper walking shoes. So, Charlotte, we'll see you next week. Probably, we typically do a Tuesday one, don't we?
Gordo's got to smash some data.
All right, well, we'll bang it out Monday or Tuesday from Quail Hollow. We'll see y'all soon. Be good.